The O'Reilly Factor is on tonight.
We believe the borders of Israel and Palestine should be based on the 1967 lines.
It cannot go back to the 1967 lines.
President Obama may have invited big trouble with Jewish Americans who give an enormous amount of money to the Democratic Party. We will have a special report. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. President Obama and the Jewish vote. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. In 2008, Jewish American voters supported Barack Obama big time, 78%, compared to 21% for John McCain. But now, maybe trouble in the Jewish precincts. Yesterday, the president told the world he favors Israel pulling back to its 1967 borders that were expanded after a series of wars. Predictably, Israel says it's not going to happen because it can't defend the 67 boundaries, therefore its security would be in danger. Although Jewish Americans account for just 2% of the electorate, they do give a lot of money to the Democrats, and in crucial states like Florida, the Jewish vote is vital. Historically, Jewish Americans vote liberal. Some believe they sympathize with the underdog, but be that as it may, the Democratic Party relies heavily on major Jewish donors. Now, all that might be at risk. The actual negotiations between the Palestinians and Israel will probably not get anywhere, no matter what Mr. Obama proposes. There's simply too much money involved in the conflict. Since 1993, the USA has committed more than $3.5 billion to the Palestinians. Last year alone, we sent the authority $500 million. Yet most of the people over there remain devoid of services and are dirt poor. Some believe much of the money is stolen. You may remember that the late Yasser Arafat was suspected of misappropriating cash. His widow, Suha, currently lives very well in Paris, and a newspaper in Britain has reported that she receives more than $20 million a year from the Palestinian authorities. Quite a pension plan. Mrs. Arafat denies that. But there is no denying that groups like Hamas are able to raise millions of dollars by keeping the conflict with Israel alive. So there's a vested interest in war in that region, billions of dollars at stake. Back here, the president met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, who said today that Israel will not give up the territory. Mr. Obama says he still stands behind his suggestion. These guys do not like each other. Talking Points hates to be cynical, but there's a better chance of Iran joining NATO than any deal between Israel and the PA. It's just the way it is. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction. Join us from Washington, radio talk show star Mark Levine. And here in New York, Brooke Goldstein, founder of the Children's Rights Institute. All right, so you're involved with Jewish fundraising and activities in your role as a human rights activist and a kids advocate. How's this playing?
Frankly, I think Obama has dug himself a very deep hole. I mean, look at the facts. In one foul swoop, he has completely reversed American foreign policy. He has, in one speech, told the Jewish community that he's going to renege on his promises that he made to Israel. And that just basically leads to a state of confusion. There's a lot of questions that he needs to answer.
Aren't you overstating it, though? He didn't say he's going to renege. He suggested that this be part of a compromise solution to try to get two states. So.
No, I think he completely misinterpreted UN Resolution 242. He completely misinterpreted the whole idea of quid pro quo. 242 basically states that the Arabs will recognize Israel, and in turn, Israel will give back land. It's not the opposite. Israel isn't supposed to give back land for the Palestinians to come to the negotiating table.
Now, so that's it for you. You're not voting for Obama. You didn't vote for him last time.
I didn't vote for him, but he's my president, and I support him, but I respectfully disagree. I think he's very well-intentioned. I think that he wants a lasting peace in the Middle East, but I disagree with him.
Does he have now a deficit in the Jewish American community?
Well, it is yet to be remain seen. I mean, this is just 24 hours. We have to see what he says at AIPAC.
All right, Mark, you were an Obama supporter, and the reason I think the president did this yesterday is that he knows that some in the Arab world are angry with him about Libya, about Afghanistan, bin Laden, the raid. So he threw him a little bone, but that could come right back and hit him in the forehead. Am I wrong?
I don't see how it helps him much in the Arab world. They didn't go for the speech very much, and frankly, he's going to lose a lot of Jewish votes. Now, I'm still going to support Obama. I'm a good liberal. I always have been. I'm not a one-issue voter.
So you're a Kool-Aid drinker. No matter what he does, you're going to vote for him.
No, not no matter what he does. But listen, I want Medicare. I want Social Security. I want unions to be protected. And you put that above
the state of Israel, but your own self-interest.
He's not. No, he's not selling out the state of Israel. What he is a little bit. All right, he actually is a little bit. But what he's not doing, he's not saying Israel has to go back to the 67 lines. He's saying it has to go back to the 67 lines, and then they're going to negotiate mutual swaps.
Yeah, but I mean,
what
he
I think he did is he moved the ball down the field a little bit toward the Palestinians.
You know how sensitive this whole issue is to Jewish Americans, all right? And rightly so.
And not
Jewish
just Jewish
people
Americans.
over the centuries have been persecuted, murdered, chased out of countries, exterminated, you name it. So now you have the President of the United States saying something no other president has said. Hey, you know what? For all your blood and treasure in the last 35 years, why don't you just give back all that land?
Well, you know, Bush did say something similar.
Go ahead.
Back in 2005, George Bush did say something similar standing next to Mahmoud Abbas. I don't like when either president says things like this. This is subject to negotiation. Obama said that too. He's kind of talking on both sides of his mouth. This isn't going to go anywhere. It's not a
Now, the
smart
perception among many Jewish people that I know is that President Obama doesn't favor Israel, that he's either, you know, 50-50 or he favors the Palestinians. You believe that?
Well, I think it's deeper than that. I don't think Obama understands the root of the Arab-Israeli conflict. The conflict.
How could he not, though? He has brilliant advisors. He's got the State Department. He's got the Department of Defense. He's got the national security people. How could he not understand
But his speech,
the roots?
well, if he does understand it, then his speech did not reflect it, because he did not pay attention to the fact that the Arab nations have been in a state of war with Israel since his birth.
But he wants to stop that state of war, and he thinks that giving this to the Arab world and the Palestinians will make them more inclined to negotiate.
But the facts on the ground are that the Arabs went to war with Israel pre-67. They went to war with Israel in 67. They went to war with Israel after 67. Obviously, those boundaries are not a precondition or even an assurance for peace in the Middle East.
All right, so you say you agree with me that there's not going to be any solution here, and forget it. It's not going to happen.
There will be a solution. There will be peace in the Middle East when the Arab nations stop teaching their children in their textbooks,
okay, well, that's not
going to
be in our
lifetime.
lifetime.
Jews.
That's not going to be in our
Hopefully
lifetime.
it will be.
No, it won't. It will absolutely not happen. Do you agree with that, Mark? I mean, I don't see a solution ever in this thing, particularly because Hamas, Hezbollah, all these terror groups, they need this conflict. They raise buku money off this conflict. They're not going to. And even if every Arab nation said, you know what, we're going to be sensible and we're going to go in, and then Netanyahu and the Israelis said, okay, we'll meet you halfway and we'll work it out. And then these guys are going to still chuck bombs, boom, 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 to keep it going. You know that?
Look at Israel's peace with Egypt. I mean, it lasted since '79. Now Mubarak's gone, Sadat's gone, and maybe that peace is gone too. And the problem with Israel is that it gives up territory, it gives up something real for something that's intangible and may not last. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very hard to do. I got to say, I think the president's being a little bit naive here. I think frankly, he's a compromiser. He reaches out. He does it too much to Republicans, in my view. He's doing it too much to the Arabs right now. He's looking for a middle position that doesn't exist.
In the election of 2012, Mark, you make a prediction. 78% of Jewish vote went for him last time. What would be the percentage this time?
I say 70.
You say?
He'll lose 8% on
Oh my
this.
God.
He loses 8? What do you say he loses?
I would say that it's yet to be determined.
Oh, come on. Give me a guess.
Look, I can't guess a
All right,
percentage.
you can't. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to say he's going to go down to 65%, and the state of Florida, which is absolutely Barack Obama has to win it if he wants to be reelected, will be impacted big time by this decision. And that is the most important part of the story right now for the United States.